Major, so Dr. PK. Same to you. Yeah, Nyame adom, yɛasɔre no pɛ a, we are also counted among believing it. Oh, it's na na ye. Wow, wow, milady. Oh, master, oh, master, because just something is to say, Bini Hubi, na, because I see it's so na, your cap, it's because I went to you 5,000, Munina won't cook me, maybe them buy a private, but you have a pump school fees. I said, no, say you have a pump school fees now, Ebia, Obua, what 205,000. The Bua, 10,000, more, Munia 5,000, Munina, Kujana, that me person, Ghana, and Makudim be. That that be that be care same way young one akra wa ba school do you literally school fees also public school fees so free hoko na otua wi a lessons na atwa mo wo sa de be man back. Yeah, but that was yeah, but they should have, I think they should have found, they should have said, no mean any free, but they should find it alternative. Okay, so it became a better idea or na sika ni min fiai na de no so uyu so a nti tam ba betu an de wo yusu nyina de beso sana ana abete so. Okay, yeah, 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 yate yɛde yɛ papa adwuma abusuafoɔ abusuafoɔ yɛbɛma mu nyinaa afihyia pa ɛm sɛ december yi deɛ november october november ɛkɔ december no deɛ yɛma mo feleeɛ promotion bebree yɛ mu bi ani gye yɛ tap deɛ de biara yɛpɛ sɛ yɛ customers ani gye so our social responsibility ne deɛ we do it well yɛ try spread our wings everywhere and imagine sɛ afe ne starting na yɛwɔ special promo foforɔ ɛnam kwan mu nti because I wouldn't take much time because of your unity. My friend, Sister Ivy or Hannah Mifi, just to break the news and then make it shorter for us. So, memory no kakra man. And Sister Ivy, so also you can unmute yourself and start talking. Or question be maybe PK you allow a minute or two think after Dr. Kasta Nanka. Yeah, reach out. Yeah. And Sister Ivy, if you are there, you can unmute yourself and then. Um, oh, okay. Okay. IVIJ. Let me see if I can unmute her. Okay, good. Happy then. Oh, she's on mute. Yeah, Ian close. She's on mute. Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Patrol Timinka. Oh yes, of course. I think you might also have to do that because mamenye and also.
Yeah, you and I. Oh,
Okay, let's have a look. Let me try again.
perfect.
Okay. Good evening. Okay. Okay, let's give that a try.
Perfect. Perfect. Hey, but the sound is not coming.
Can you hear me? I'm not upside down, am I? Okay. Maybe just my sorry. Okay. Oh wow. I have to go back a bit. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Maybe I might just have to move my camera. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Just give me a sec. I'm not sure why that is. Is this better? Oh, landscape. Okay, hold on. I think if I can. So you want me to? So I flipped my phone. I need to. Okay. Is that better? Okay. So I think it's because I'm on my phone because I how I can see it is I can't actually see because I can see I'm flipped over. Does that make sense? But you guys can see me. Okay, brilliant. We got there in the end, I think. Oh, mhm. Like this? Okay, let's give it another try. Like this? Much better? Okay. Yeah, it's back a little bit. Okay. This this is good, but my head I can still my okay. Okay. See. Is this good? We got there in the end. Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, yes, definitely. Good evening, everyone who's on today. Thank you so much for having me. So my name is Ivy. I want to keep it quick because I know it's a packed program. So my name is Ivy, and I am the founder of Mifie. Mifie is a UK registered company that basically it's a platform that promotes all things Ghana. And we do that through so many initiatives. We have a give back project. We have a directory that we're looking to launch very soon, where hopefully you can find everything Ghanaian, regardless of wherever you are in the world, you should be able to find it. So if you are in Canada, you're looking for your local KK seller or your local group, your local organization, you should be able to find it on Mifie. And the one that I want to speak to you about tonight, which I know everybody gets really excited about, is that we run raffles where we give people a chance to win Ghanaian related prizes. So at the moment, we're running a campaign. A lot of you might have already seen it because we are also in partnership with TapTap, where we're giving one lucky winner, one lucky person, I should say, a chance to win a fully packaged holiday to Ghana, which includes your flights, your accommodation, and your experiences when you reach. So this is our third one that we're running. We've done two previous ones, and they've been very successful. We've taken the winners to Ghana, and they've had an amazing time. So we're running the campaign. So some of you might have already seen it. Maybe your email, you see that. Maybe when you go on the app, you might have seen that as well. So that will be running to the end of this month. So we just wanted to share that with you. And I know that we get a lot of questions sometimes. And so this is an opportunity. If anyone's seen it and you're thinking, who's here and what's this all about? If you've got any questions at all, I'm here with you guys tonight. Or well, tonight for me, I guess. So any questions at all, you can let me know. It ends on the 31st of January. So by the winner will be announced the following week. So a few days after the draw. So the last entry comes in on the 31st, and a few days after we'll announce the winner. As it's done live, so all our draws are done live. We use a third-party random generator that literally picks the winner for us. And once we pick the winner, the winner picks their dates. So there are no fixed dates. So once you win, we give you 4 weeks. You have 4 weeks to give us your dates because we know people have to take time off, family, and all of that. And then we create your experience around you. No, this is our third one. So this is raffle number 3. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So if you please take the opportunity, follow us on social media. You can follow, we are on all platforms. We are on Instagram, Facebook. You will see our winners when they arrived in Ghana. You'll see the draw, how we do the draw. Like I said, we work in a very transparent way. You see when we took the winners to Ghana, the kind of things that they did. It's all documented and kind of, shared very openly. Yes, absolutely. Oh, excellent. Oh, brilliant. Definitely. Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, so absolutely. So the website is www.me-fie. I will put it in the chat.com. Yes. And social media. Even if you type up Mifi, if you go on Instagram, Facebook, if you type up Mifi, it will come up. You'll see this logo. So that's how you enter. If you want to enter the competition, you enter through the website. Tap customers get a discount off their entries. So the raffle is paid. So if you're a tap customer, you don't have to do anything. As soon as you log on to the PA's website, it picks you up. As long as you use the same email that you have on your app, has to be the same email that you sign up on Mifi. So as soon as you log on, your discount is applied automatically. And then it's very simple. You follow the steps. It's like 2, 3 steps, and then you're in. Yes, I will. Absolutely. So the draw starts from £5 or $5, depending on where you are. You'll see your currency top up. It starts from that. So we want you to download. That is part of your benefit of being a Tap customer. This is something that Tap has arranged. Again, I think the gentleman before, he was talking about really looking after Tap customers. So this is something that they've secured a discount for you to enter the raffle. So if you don't have the app, make sure you download the app, because that's the only way you can get the discount is if you are a Tap customer. Otherwise, you pay full price to enter. Yeah. Well, you never know. It's always the people that think they never win. Oh. Wow. No, thank you so much for having me. Like I said, we don't only just do the raffles, we do so many other initiatives as well. And we are launching a directory. So if you have a business, if you have a group, if you have anything that you'd like other Ghanaians within the diaspora to find you, it's going to be a place where you can list your services, business, whatever. So definitely, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, spot on, spot on. Absolutely. Thank you. Amen. Mhm.
My, I'm doing fine. Happy New Year. All right. Yes, my brother. Yes. All right. Let me do something about how. Yeah. All right. Oh, I feel honored that I am beginning the year. I hope that I begin it well. And then I pray that there will be more beautiful shows this year. I love them too. All right. Thank you so much. I think New Year resolutions would not be a new thing to any one of us here. We've all done it before. As to whether it's overrated or not, for me, I think it depends on you. It depends on whoever is making these resolutions. And that is really, really, really what I want us to talk about. You know, when we say New Year, that we are actually saying that we are beginning another 365 days. And we know that we have been using the Gregorian calendar. Now, when I say the Gregorian calendar, I'm talking about our January to December calendar. The month January, you know, is named after the Roman god Janus. Janus is the god of gates, the god of openings. In other words, that's the god in charge of beginnings. So the month is named January to show that that month is the beginning, the gates, the opening for the rest of the year. And that is why it is called so. In ancient Rome, during this month, people will make resolutions. People would wish good things for themselves for the coming year. People will make plans for the coming year. When I look through the Bible, I see a similar practice. The Jews, of course, their month and their year is different from the years as we have in the Gregorian calendar. They have the month Tishri. In another calendar, they have the month Nisan, beginning the year. Now, when they are beginning the year, they have what they call Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is more like the beginning of the year. The term means the head of the year. And that is the first day of their year. That day begins a period of about 10 days. 10 days from the day, the first day, which is Rosh Hashanah, for the next 10 days, what the Jews would do is, it was a period of penitence, a period where they would have to, reflect and confess their sins and make sure they are okay, because in 10 days they are having the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, and on that day it is like a day of judgment. So before that day, you should have done everything to make sure you are right with God. So that is more like, it's a new year and I want to make sure everything is okay. So these are just two examples of ancient practices where we see New Year resolutions. And till today, we still see them. However, there are a lot of things that happen when it comes to New Year resolutions. Sometimes it can get really, really, really funny. But when you look at it carefully, you are like, why do we have that? I saw a very funny picture about New Year resolutions some years back. Now, that picture actually has within it, it is a piece of paper, New Year resolution. The year is written, and some of the things that are written on it, you can see that the person keeps on editing. So, for example, maybe point number 1, lose weight. Point number 2, buy a car. Point number 3, so these are things that I want to do in the new year. And then you see the following year, the person comes again, and where he had written lose weight, he has rather written lose more weight. So he's added more to it. Where he had written buy a car, he had written buy maybe a car, tie or something. The point is that when you look at the resolutions that you have been making ever since you started making new resolutions, you realize that somehow they all look alike. It's the same thing that you keep on, recycling every time. So it's like the same things that you said you were going to do in the year, say 2020. By February, March, you start flouting some of these resolutions. You start doing things that show that it was just a 9-day wonder. And so the following year, you find yourself again and again telling yourself that this year I am going to do this. So when we talk about a New Year's resolution, we are saying that I am going to do this, or these are the things that I wish for in the coming year. That is what a resolution is about. In recent years, the resolutions have turned into, instead of being resolutions as in where I want to do something or what I want, things that I want to do, especially with the advent of 31st night services and the declarations by our sophos and all that. What we now see is people tagging years in terms of declaring certain blessings for themselves. Oh, this is my year of supernatural, or this is my year of blessing. This is my year of this, my year of that. So when we are talking about resolutions, we are looking at them in these two aspects, where people are planning what they will do in the coming year, and where people are wishing what they want to happen to them in the coming year. It is either done on the 31st of December of the previous year, or the first day, or within the first month of the new year. That is when resolutions are made. It is a reflection. It is like you saying that I want to grow. But for it to be something that is overrated or not, for me, it depends on your intentionality. How intentional am I about how I want to live my life? And so what I want us to discuss is this. When we talk about New Year resolution, the first question is it even important? Is it something that we need to do? I think that New Year resolutions help us to reflect on the past year, honestly. Now, this is something you are doing with yourself alone. So in the previous year, how did I take my life? How was my reflection like? I mean, how did I take my personal growth? How was my character like? How did I handle my health? How did I handle my relationship and my social life? How did I handle work? How did I handle finances? How did I go about my life? So it gives you the opportunity to make that honest reflection of the previous year. It also helps you to set your goals and your priorities. So this year, I want to, for example, I want to buy a house. So you set a goal, you set that priority. So it gives you, they say that if you don't know where you are going, the wind will blow you anywhere. So making a New Year resolution actually helps you to know exactly where you want to go. And of course, once you have done a reflection of the previous year and you also set your goals, it helps to improve your well-being, your effectiveness. So New Year resolutions actually help you to improve on yourself, in your work, in your health, in everything else that you have reflected on. It also helps you to align your actions with your personal values. So after your reflection, you say that, okay, I didn't do well in terms of my social life. I didn't do well in terms of how I handled my health. I didn't do well in terms of how I did this. Therefore, this time around, I want to do this. So your resolutions actually lead you to some actions, and you can align them with your personal values. And of course, New Year's resolutions give you an opportunity to grow intentionally. It gives you the opportunity to grow intentionally rather than to just drift passively. Like you are just there. Oh, yeah, no understand what I mean, you are not focusing on where you are going. But when you have made a resolution, you know exactly where you are going. So you are growing intentionally. So to be able to do this, you need to definitely begin with a reflection. So you ask yourself, what's one area in my life do I want to improve on? That is what you need to do. What area in my life do I want to improve on? And then, when you have asked that question, you're like, okay, I think that I should be able to improve on my mental, emotional well-being. Maybe in the past year, I have not really taken care of my mental health. I want to do that this year. I want to improve on my physical health. There was a year that I myself and a group of friends, we told ourselves that this year we will make sure we eat a fruit every day. Yeah, I think we ended it in June, and then some started giving up. But some continued. It may not be daily, but at least somehow there was an improvement. In other words, your when you do the reflection, which area in my life do I want to improve on? Physical health or my health lifestyle. How am I going to do it? Which area in my life do I intend to improve on this year? My relationship, my social life, my work life, my religious life. How do I want to? So it is very, very important. Which area in my life do I want to improve on this year? What habits do I want to start this year? Is there something that I want to start this year? So, for example, I've mentioned the issue of I want to start eating fruits every day this year. Cool. Oh, okay, I want to drink more water. I want to start sleeping early. These are habits that you can decide to start in a year. And then again, what habits do I want to stop? this year. Now, most of the time, this is where the issue is. What habit do I want to stop? I am already addicted to something that I know is not helping me. I am addicted to it. I want to stop it. So this particular habit, maybe the habit of sleeping late, the habit of watching pornography, the habit of masturbation, is it something that I want to stop? So what habit do I want to stop? What habit do I want to start? And then who can support me in this journey? That is another question that we need to reflect on. Okay, so I want to do this. I want to improve my life in this area. Who can support me in this journey? For example, I think I heard you talking about if you want to build a house. So I want to build a house this year. I want to buy a house this year. Who can support me? You talked about feel-good properties. You know, that is a good way to go, a good place to start from. Okay, or I am in the US, I'm in Canada. I need to send money. You know, who can support me? Tap Send is there to support me. You know, the point I am making is that when you do your reflection, you are actually asking questions that will help to improve your life. What area do I want to improve? What habit do I want to start? What habit do I want to stop? And who or what can support me in this journey? And so when you have done this, it helps in making the resolution something better. So when you are moving into resolutions, in order for it not to just be, you know, the fact that, okay, we are making resolutions, you should be able to categorize it. I think I've mentioned some of them. Personal growth, character. This year, for example, maybe you can say, this year, I would want to better develop self-discipline. I want to be consistent this year. Maybe you just tell yourself, this year, I am going to keep to time. It is a habit that you want to think of developing. So if I am given a time to attend a meeting or something, I will go at this time. This year, this is how I want to dress. I want to appear this way. I mean, in every occasion, I want to do this. I want to manage my time more effectively. I want to become more patient. I want to do this. Now, these are about your personal growth. You can also think about, I think I talked about, you know, your mental and emotional well-being. This year, I want to, you know, develop certain, you know, stress management strategies, or I want to be able to balance my work and my rest time, or I want to be able to, you know, to protect my peace, my mental health. So I want to avoid certain stressful situations. No, these are things that you can actually think about. You can also look at your physical, you know, well-being, physical health. I think I gave example of your eating. So you decide that, okay, this year I will not skip breakfast. This year I will make sure I eat fruits. This year I will include more veggies in my meal. This year I would do more exercise, more physical activity. This year I will not sit at the office for a continuous 2 hours. I would get up and take a walk here and there. Now, these are things. This year I want to get adequate sleep. This year I want to do this. I want to treat my body with care. You know, these are aspects of your physical health that you can include in your New Year resolution. And then maybe you can talk about your relationship, your social life. This year, I want to make sure whatever relationships I make are meaningful. I want to improve on, for example, maybe you know very well, my relationship is not going on well. Communication-wise, I'm not doing well. I want to improve on it. This year, I want to be able to resolve conflicts between myself and, you know, my spouse or my partner, whichever. I want to be able to do that. This year, I want to be more present with my family. So instead of closing late from work this year, I want to spend more time. This year, I want to have, say, an hour or maybe, you know, 2 hours every week with my family. Or I want to be able to go out every month with my family. These are things that you can actually put in your New Year resolutions. And then you can look at also work, school, if you're a student, career development. So this year I want to do this. If you're a student, okay, I want to be able to make this grade. I want to improve on my productivity. I want to develop a skill. I want to do, these are things that you can actually put into your New Year resolutions. And then you can talk about element of, your own values. Maybe you value integrity. Maybe you value excellence. You value, truth, fairness, things that you find as personal core values that you want to build on. You inculcate them into your New Year resolutions. Now, if you do this and you are very intentional about them, your New Year resolutions will not just be another, waste of time, another thing that you are just writing, but it is going to really bring improvement into your life. But in order for it to stick, in order for your New Year resolutions to stick, these are some tips that I want to give you. Number one, be realistic. Be realistic. The thing that you say you want to do, the question is, how realistic is it? You know very well that you are already addicted to alcohol, for example. And then you are telling me this year you will not touch alcohol at all. Now, to be realistic, you may not be able to go off completely. And so a more realistic resolution will be to reduce your alcohol intake, by a certain specific, level. So maybe, okay, if you drink every day, you want to reduce it to not drinking once a week, and all that. It is a habit that is worrying you. But to be very realistic, you know that it may not be able to happen. You know your income, you know how much money you get, and you know that if you decide to save even 90% of your income, you will not be able to afford a house. So you don't go in your New Year resolution and say that at the end of this year, I should build a house. That can pass off as a prayer, as a hope that God will bless you with one. But, you should be very realistic, knowing how much money you have been receiving and how much you'll be receiving. You should be realistic and say that this is what I can do. This is what I want to do. So New Year resolutions can make meaning. It can go beyond just, another lists of things that we are not taking seriously. It can go beyond that to become something that will be more impactful in our lives, so that we don't say it is overrated. We can do that if we are realistic in what we write down or in what we plan. And not only realistic, we need to also be specific. You can say that, okay, this year I am going to improve my life. That is not specific enough. Be specific. You are going to improve your life in terms of what? I am going to improve the way I talk. I am going to read maybe 10 pages of a book a day, or maybe I'm going to read one book a month or something. That is very specific. So I said that in order for your resolutions not to be, just another list of things, be realistic. Also be specific. Now, when you have become realistic, you have become specific, the third point is that you should break your goals into small, achievable steps. So your goal is that you want to do X, but the X that you want to do is huge. But within the X, there is A, B, C. So how do you do it? So for example, somebody says that, oh, by the end of the year, I should have read 20 books. That is a good goal, That is a good resolution. But how do you do that? You should break them down into small, achievable steps. So every month, I am going to make sure I read 2 books. Or every quarter, every 3 months, I will read 3 books. Or maybe 4 books. I think 4 books a quarter can help us to achieve 20 books. You know, you should break them into small, achievable steps. You can't wait and say that, oh, my resolution is to do this, and then you start, struggling to finish it. Or in November, I say, oh, in January, I wrote that I wanted to do this. So now it's November, and I have to, rush to finish it. You need to break them down into small, achievable steps. So then we know that it is something that you can achieve. And then number 4, track your progress regularly. Track your progress. How well are we doing? Look back and ask yourself, well, I told myself that I am going to do this in the coming year. How well am I doing it? How am I getting it done? Now, when you do that, you will realize that, okay, you are maybe approaching 90% or 70% or 60%, or even you are not doing well at all. Now, the tracking of your progress can actually help you to, to readjust. And that takes me to the next point: be flexible. It is you who has given yourself these resolutions. It is you who has decided that you want to do this or that or that or that. So be flexible and forgive yourself when you have made a genuine mistake. You should be able to forgive yourself. You are not infallible. You can make mistakes. You can drift away from your goal. But when you have seen it, because you set a realistic, a specific goal, because you have broken it down into small, achievable steps, and after tracking your progress, you get to know that I need to readjust, or I need to, to up my game on this and on that. Be flexible. So that's the 5th point I am making to you. Be flexible. Forgive yourself when you have to, readjust when you have to, and then you continue. And then the last point is celebrate small wins. Celebrate small wins. When you have been able to achieve what you have set to achieve, no matter how small, celebrate it. Get yourself, reward yourself that, whoa, I've been able to do this and I am happy I did it. Now, celebration would automatically help you it will motivate you to continue the good work that you have started. All right. So in order for your resolutions to stick so that it will not become overrated, number 1, set realistic goals. Number 2, be specific about the goals that you set. Number 3, break them into small, achievable steps. Number 4, track your progress regularly. Number 5, be flexible and forgive yourself. And number 6, celebrate small wins. So, my friends, this is what I have been trying to tell you. When we talk about New Year resolutions, mainly we are talking about change. Change. You want to change what you have. But change does not happen because you wish it to happen. Change begins with, first of all, awareness. And that is where I talked about the reflective, journaling, like the reflection. You reflect, you are aware that you didn't do well or you are not doing well in this area. When you have become aware, you can now become committed to what you want to do. So change begins with awareness and then commitment. And you make sure you can't remove a mountain. It is said that anybody who is to remove a mountain begins by picking the small stones. So small consistent actions can lead to lasting results. So bite small, chew it, and make sure you get it done. A new year is not actually, there is no magic in the new year. There's no magic. I mean, 31st December and 1st January look exactly the same. The sun will rise, the sun will set. What makes it different is your commitment. And so when you have a new year, it is actually an opportunity for you to decide that I want to improve on my life. You can decide to do it any time of the year, but it becomes measurable. It becomes something that you can deal with when you fix it into a new year. And once you do that, I believe you will be able to improve your life. Let me end with this quote. I read it somewhere. I've forgotten where. I've forgotten who the author is, but you can't attribute it to me. That the best time to improve your life was yesterday. The next best time is today. And New Year resolutions is one of the ways in which we can make this happen. Thank you very much. And once again, Happy New Year to you all. All right. So I would always go for writing things down. The reason is that it is said that the longest memory can never go beyond the shortest pen. When you write things down, these are the things. You don't forget it. You don't forget what you've written down. Because even if you forget what is at the back of your mind, what you've written down is there to remind you. But the other thing about writing down is accountability. For you to feel a sense of accountability to yourself. You have something to keep on reminding you. That's the only thing. But the magic is not in either writing it down or keeping it at the back of your mind. The magic is in your reflection and then your commitment. And that's why I said we should begin from reflection. And once we begin from reflection, it becomes, something that you own. It's like, this is something that I have to do. And then you become committed to it and then you do it. That is what works for resolutions, and not whether it is written down or not. But there's an advantage in writing things down. And I've given the two advantages. One, the issue of memory, and then two, the issue of accountability. Yes, it is possible. So let me say this. They're talking about stress. Everybody has some level of stress, and that level of stress is actually helpful. Okay, so stress is not something that is always negative. Stress can help us to achieve certain things. Exactly. So yes, use stress. That is good stress. So it helps. When it is negative, so you are talking about negative. When it is negative, it is when you are unable to cope with the stress, and the outcome is not something that is positive. It poses a health, it poses issues on your physical and then also on your mental health. That is where the problem is. Now, when you set a goal, it can pose negative stress on you if the goal is not realistic. Because maybe you want to, I don't know why I keep using the house. Maybe because somebody would have to contact Feel Good Homes. All right, you want to put up a house that is stressing you, and the stress it is putting on you is actually making you to not to advance, not to get better, and that is negative. So you should rather set a more realistic goal. I mean, you should be able to say that, okay, what I intend to do is to meet X, and I am going to take these steps to be able to do that. When you make them small, you put them into small, units, it is no longer stressful. I mean, anybody can tell you that I can go a day without alcohol, just one day. Let's say that you want to stop drinking alcohol. I can go a day without alcohol. And then I tell you that if you can go one day without it, then you can actually add a second day to it. So, but if you say, oh, I am going without alcohol for 1 week, it looks too big, it will stress you out. Just refrain from it for 1 day. And then when you are done with that 1 day, you do the next day. And when you take the steps one at a time, you'll be able to make it at the end of the day. And that is how to avoid negative stress coming from the goals that you set. Thank you. Yeah, so you realize I said something like the best time to improve your life was yesterday. And if the best time to improve it, the second best time is today. And so let's assume that you intended to do X, Y, Z. By June, you had done X, Y, Z. Question is, what next? In fact, I normally would recommend mid-year, how do you call it, review of, how my life has been. So maybe at the end of at the middle of the year, how have I fared? So the reflection I talked about, you don't wait till December to do the reflection. You can do the reflection in June, and then you realize that, oh, okay, I am doing well in the things that I said I was going to do. In other words, my resolutions are achieved. And by the way, the question is, if all are done, there are some of the resolutions that are not destinations. It is part of the journey. For example, if you say that to you, I want to improve on a certain character trait, I want to stop a certain habit. By June, you've seen that, okay, now it has become my habit. You don't say you are done. You have to continue in the new good habit. But the ones that are tangibles, maybe I want to buy this, I want to experience this, then if you feel the need to be able to improve your life, even after 1 month, go ahead and improve upon your life. So you remember I said something like, you don't necessarily have to wait till the end of the year to make resolutions. However, the new year actually gives you an opportunity to be able to say that I will do this within this period and that period. So that is actually what the new year does, because the calendar is not, we don't have just one calendar. We have different calendars, and you can actually work on what you want to work on. Thank you. That is true, and for me, that is what I think I need to let. As I mentioned something about flexibility and you forgiving yourself. You may not. We should not see resolutions as a way of punishing ourselves. No, we shouldn't see it that way. And you are not in competition with anybody. The idea is that you are making yourself better. That is what resolutions are all about. So if you make some resolutions and then you are able to achieve them, celebrate it, reward yourself for being able to achieve them. Now, if you say that, oh, I wanted to do these 10 things by the end of December, by June, I'm done with all 10. Do I still have some things to do? Sure, why not? We always have some things to do. We always have some things to improve on. So between June and December, what can I do? Do I say that, oh, I'm done for the year, therefore let me not stress? Or I should improve myself? Oh, if I'm improving myself, between June and December, what am I putting there? Once again, the principles apply. You should be realistic. You should also be able to make sure you put it into small achievement, as the same points that I mentioned, so that you know that this cannot be done in 6 months. Then if it is not accomplished by December, you don't beat yourself up. You still reward yourself for what you were able to do. When you are doing the reflection for the following year, you do the reflection and improve on it. So you actually say that, okay, I was able to do X percent, maybe 90%, the remaining 10%, I am pushing it into the next year. And that is it. Resolutions, you are the one who is making the resolutions. The resolutions do not make you. So you should be careful how you allow your resolutions to stress you out. Okay, so exactly what we are saying. You are not a failure. Failure is, for me, failure is when I give up, when I stop trying. That's failure. But so long as I am still trying, I am not a failure. I have had people calling me, for example, these are counseling issues. I can't disclose the details, but somebody calls me on 3rd January. Not this year, some years back, 3rd January, and the person is actually suicidal. Why? Because part of this person's New Year resolutions was to stop a certain habit in the new year. And by 3rd January, the person had flouted the resolution. And this person felt hopeless in life. So I can't even do it beyond 3 days, and I had to, in fact, this happened in the middle of the night. I remember it vividly because of how it happened. I almost brushed the person off because it was in the middle of the night. The person called wanted counselor. I was like, can't it wait till morning? And the response made me realize that this person is actually getting depressed by that particular thing. So I listened, and I was able to help this person know that, see, you are human. Don't be too hard on yourself, and let it be one step at a time. Failure is not final. You are a failure only when you give up. So if you are unable to achieve your resolutions, the good news is that you are still alive. And whilst you are still alive, you can still achieve them. So don't give up. Don't consider yourself a failure. Try again. Maybe this time you are starting not from zero, but you are starting from experience of the failure that you have experienced. Thank you. All right. So I'm trying to put it in the chat. I want to put, yes, once somebody is coming through tap tap send, time with tap tap send, that I am a bit more flexible. Those who have contacted me can tell that I am very flexible with people who get referred through tap tap send. So no problem at all. So the number is, yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so this borders on matters of faith. People. Yes, so yeah, so the spiritual aspect for me it borders on faith. If you are a Christian, and I'm speaking from the Christian perspective, if you are a Christian, I don't think that there is any power stronger than your God. However, let's get a bit physical, and let me talk about a man by name Nehemiah. Nehemiah wanted to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. He came all the way from Susa and then came to Jerusalem. And when he got to Jerusalem, he says that he had to do, like he did reflection, okay? He went round to see the extent of the problem and he went alone. He planned, and then when he started executing, then he involved people. Sometimes the enemy should not know what is going on in your head. But the enemy, can know the end plan. The end plan is that you want to build a wall. But how you are going about it, whom you have spoken to, where you are getting your resources from, you may not need to give all those details. Because if the person is really an enemy, that enemy would actually go and stop it, the source. And you realize in the case of Nehemiah, the enemies actually they try to go to the source. They try to influence the king. They try to do things that would actually destroy the work. So for me, there's nothing wrong with somebody knowing that this is what I want to achieve. But you don't also carry it on your forehead for everybody to know that this is what you want to achieve. You should be able to be very circumspect in how you display it. But the issue of witches taking them away and making you feel, witches are not physical. If I say they are not physical, it is not because you have told somebody that a witch will get to know. The witch can get to know through the spiritual means and will still attempt to make you feel. But if you have a stronger power than the power of the witch, you should be able to succeed. Yeah, so when you take the 233 out, that's 0. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, for the one I must say. So, by my 2026, we started with on a good note. As Prof said, we need to set up our goals and our target. Let's be close to realistic, so that at least, we're booming it and aim can say. But one thing I always do to comfort myself and say, "Oka say ain't being a watch them in crank rather that." And also, I'll tell people, say, don't let what people tell you, emu abem, but try to use that to be a pivot. So thank you very much, all. Prof. Yamisha for all the good work. Edeboa, for any for so Yami Enshapa. Thank you very much, all the 3,000 customers across the world. We really appreciate your time. God bless all. 2026 is going to be a fruitful year. Thank you.